Hello, and once again, welcome to Yoga by the Moon. I am your guide, Michelle, and I will be taking you through a special full moon practice today because this coming full moon on September 7th will actually be a total lunar eclipse. And entering into Virgo season this month, we started to enter into the portal of eclipse season because there is a total lunar eclipse September 7th and then a partial solar eclipse September 21st. And this opens a very powerful portal in astrology and everything, and it really stirs up different energies. And I wanted to take you through a practice that would help us harness this energy for good instead of feeling all the turmoil that we tend to feel during eclipse portals and seasons. In eclipses, the reason we feel these things, you might feel disoriented or just unexplainably irritated and agitated and caught up in your emotions. And this is because the karmic tides are shifting. Just like the moon pulls the tides and everything, when the sun blocks the moon, those tides get messed up. They can't be pulled. That energy has all this place, all this atmosphere and everything, and there's in this build up, but there's nowhere for it to go, and so it stirs up a lot of different things. And eclipses are especially good for releasing, especially this eclipse in Pisces. We want to release things that are no longer serving us. All these emotions that are building up in us and everything. Sit there and ponder within what is serving me and what is not. What is good for me, what is not. What is leading me down the path that I wish to follow and what is not. And anything that is not, this is the perfect time to release it and let it go. This particular full moon is actually a full moon in Pisces. Even though we are, yes, in Virgo season, the moon itself is positioned, the lunar eclipse will be positioned in Pisces. And Pisces is all about opening us up to our dreams and our possibilities. And that happens even more with Saturn's alignment in this particular eclipse. So when we can release the things that aren't serving us, we can open ourselves up to what our actual dreams are. We can open ourselves up to following our dreams. So this practice will be very grounding because we are still in an earth sign under Virgo. This will be very nurturing and internally reflective so that we can gauge how we're feeling, what's working for us and what's not, and tend to ourselves. Eclipses are, because they are so chaotic, it's especially important to nurture within, to care for yourself and tend to yourself. So that's what this practice will be all about. It'll be juicy. There'll be a little bit of heat in there because that's always fun to throw in, and especially to kind of help work out some of that stagnant energy that's kind of just hanging around and give us that final push to just shake it up, let it go, that kind of idea. But it'll mostly be tending to ourselves and loving on ourselves today. To do that, we'll begin with a breath called Kumbhaka breath. In Sanskrit, that translates to breath retention. And breath retention is very good for calming us down, bringing that energy down a few notches, allowing us to reflect within. And it's a very internally tending breath, so we can really kind of carry that child within and nurture ourselves with this breath. So what we will do, we'll breathe in for a 4 count. We will hold that breath in for another 4 count, and then we will exhale on a 6 count to have a slower, longer exhale. All those longer exhales tend to also bring us down, wind us down. So we'll do 3 of those breaths together. If you're ready, take an inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more just like that. Hold. Release. One more. Hold. Release. Take a moment. Notice how that feels. I'll work my way back onto my mat so you can see me completely. And in our first posture today, we'll be bringing our feet right in front of us, soles touching each other, creating this sort of diamond shape with our legs in butterfly. Now your heels can be as close to your tailbone or as far away as is comfortable. Make space for the belly, make space for the diaphragm to breathe. This is a gentle hip release. Again, hips store all of our emotions. And so with all of the stagnant, chaotic energy of the eclipse, we're going to release some of those emotions by gently releasing into our hips. The important thing in this posture is to make sure you're pulling your chest through. So maybe you take your hands and you grab above your ankles and lift that chest through, almost like a cat and cow. Just that cow position, arching that spine forward, pulling that heart up. And you'll feel that gentle release in your hips and that nice tall spine, giving you space to breathe. Just be here for a couple short breaths. Inhale. And on your next exhale, just find a comfortable cross-legged seat. We'll take our right hand, plant it outside our right hip, arch that left arm overhead into a crescent shape for a gentle side bend. If you want to bring your elbow all the way down to the mat and reach a little farther, you can. If you want to look up to the ceiling, feel a slight change in the way it stretches into your neck. One more breath in. Exhale, come on up, and this time we'll plant our left hand outside our left hip, arch our right arm overhead into a crescent shaped side bend stretch. If you drop to your elbow on the other side, maybe you do it again on this side. If you looked up before, maybe you do that now. And breathe. One more breath in. As you exhale, come all the way up. And this time we are going to come up onto our knees, kind of standing up on our knees. We're going to open our hearts into a camel pose, and you may take your hands upright at the base of your spine like this, and just push your hips forward, lift your chest, and maybe this is your camel pose today. Maybe you reach down a little bit. Maybe you come up on your toes and reach for your heels. Wherever you are, the important thing is you're pressing your hips forward, lifting that chest. Don't go so far down that you can't get back up. Don't go so far down that you just topple over. Go where your body needs you today. One more breath in. As we exhale, we're going to come all the way up and forward into a tabletop. Hands beneath your shoulders, knees under your wrists. Find a long, soft neck, tall spine, flat back. Once you are aligned here, you're going to take a breath in and you're going to drop your belly to the floor, slowly arching your spine until your neck turns up and you're looking at the ceiling. On your exhale, we're going to go the other way. Arch your spine, So you create this rainbow and you're looking at the floor. Cat and cow. Take a few breaths here on your own. Nice, juicy cat-cow. Where it feels good for you. If they've got some kinks, maybe you work them out a little bit. Find your own movement here, your own expression of cat-cow. Give yourself freedom here, that freedom that Pisces will bring to us. Allow yourself to explore that. And as you do, finding those kinks and working them out so that we can release. The whole purpose of this eclipse is to release. So find ways to do that in your movement. When you're ready, find stillness in that tabletop once again. And when you're ready, we're gonna lift our right knee up, legs straight. And then you're gonna pull that knee all the way to your chest, stepping your right foot between your hands into a low lunge. When you're ready with your low lunge, come on up with a tall back. Place your hands at heart center in prayer. And then we're going to take our left elbow, hook it on top of our right thigh, and twist. In a gentle prayer twist. Twists are really great for releasing in our spines, releasing in our digestive systems, allowing us to expel things that do not serve us, that do not work for us. One more breath in. As you exhale, come back on up to that low lunge. Release your hands up to the sky, and as you release your hands to the sky, come up off that back knee into a high lunge. Strong high lunge here, giving us focus for what's to come, for what our dreams truly are. We have something to strive for. When you're ready, bring your hands back down to heart center at prayer. When you're also ready, shift the weight into that front foot, and maybe you just come up a little bit with your toes touching the mat. Maybe you come all the way up into Warrior 3. Do not worry if you fall out of the posture. Your yoga mat will catch you. When you're ready, bring that left foot down to meet the right. As you can see, I am not always very graceful about it myself, and that is okay. Maybe your hands will touch the mat in a forward fold. Maybe they're at your shins. Maybe they're up all the way at your thighs. Take a moment in a forward fold, releasing through the back of the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands. Step back into a downward dog. We're not going to do too many of these in the practice, so take a moment, pedal those heels. Find what feels good. Find that alignment once again, where your hands are pressing into the mat, your feet are pressing into the mat, and you're drawing your heels down even if they don't touch, while we lift that tailbone up with a nice flat back. Your head should be neutral. You don't want your head dangling down like this or up too high. Just a neutral neck. Take a breath. When you're ready, inhale, lift that left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring your left foot between your two hands, as many steps as you need to get there, and drop back onto your right knee. Inhale, rise on up into a low lunge, hands in prayer at your heart. Inhale. Exhale, right elbow to left thigh as we open up into a twist. Once again, rinsing ourselves of those things that do not serve us in this nice juicy twist. As you exhale, come forward. And when you lift your arms up to the sky in this low lunge this time, then we're going to lift up off that right knee. If it is not comfortable, you are more than welcome to keep that knee on the ground. But this is a nice little challenge for your balance to go from low lunge to high lunge. Finding a little bit of heat to release some of that stagnant energy. A little bit of focus, which Virgo season is really great for bringing. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands back down in prayer at your heart. And shift your weight into that front foot. Maybe keeping those toes down. Maybe launching up. Trying to lift that heel in line with the ceiling as best you can. Find a focal point to help you keep that balance. One more breath in as you breathe out. Right foot meets the left. Lean forward into a forward fold once again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And this time, as we inhale, we're going to slowly roll up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Gentle, 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 gentle. Till your head comes up. And as your head comes up, bring your hands up into a slight back bend, looking up at your thumbs as your hands touch in prayer overhead. Exhale. Bring those thumbs down to your heart. Hands in prayer. In mountain. Catch your breath. Find that grounding in your feet as you, in that lift in that upper body. That hatha yoga, that sort of push-pull. Ha for sun, the for moon. Sun-moon yoga, perfect for an eclipse with the sun blocking the moon. The sun and moon coming together, two opposing energies, creating harmony. What we're looking to do in our practice today. One more breath in. One breath out. On your next breath in, sweep those hands up overhead. And this time take your right hand to grab your left wrist as you tilt and pull that left wrist to the right side. And maybe you take your left ankle and cross it behind your right in a standing crescent twist. Your side bend, sorry, not twist. Silly me. Making a crescent shape with our bodies. A moon yet again. One more breath in. As you exhale, come back up. Arms overhead. This time take your left hand to grab your right wrist. Pull that right wrist to the left side. Side body stretch, other side. Maybe you take that right ankle and cross it behind the left for a slightly deeper stretch, allowing that hip to come out a little bit more, keeping the alignment of the spine. One more breath in. As you breathe out, arms up overhead. And this time, step your feet out slightly wider than hips distance, creating this sort of V, toes pointed on the diagonal out. Arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, we're going to squat down into our goddess pose. Cactus arms, kind of creating this goalpost, and then mirroring that in our legs with this nice grounding, releasing posture. Bringing heat one last time before we completely wind down. When you're ready, bring those hands down to the mat. Heel toe your feet in just slightly so that your ankles come underneath your hip points a little bit better to come down into a yogi squat. sitting down like a toddler. If it's uncomfortable for you to just sit like this, maybe you take a pillow or a rolled up towel or a blanket underneath those hips. If you have a block, it is a good opportunity to use one of those. Wherever you are, bring those hands to prayer once again at your heart and use those elbows to press those knees open, getting a deep hip release to really, really, really release the emotions we have stored up in there and eliminate the things that are not serving us, harnessing the power of the eclipse for our good, for our tending to ourselves. One more breath in, one more breath out. And as you do, sit down on your bottom, just all the way. Keep those legs out just a little bit. And we're going to kind of hug them in to our chest as we roll like a ball back and forth, massaging that spine, kind of finding a little bit of playfulness, which Pisces also will bring to us a little bit, that kind of childlike wonder, that childlike nature, while also tending to ourselves. Take as many of these as you wish. And on your last one, roll back and stay back on your back. Bring those feet, soles flat like you're trying to stand up on the ceiling, bending those knees. Kind of like our goddess squat earlier, except for on our backs laying down. And we're going to reach our hands up in between our legs and around to grab the outside of our feet in a happy baby pose. So pull those knees into your chest, pressing those hips open. Maybe you kick one foot in and one out. Maybe you rock back and forth again. It's called happy baby because a lot of babies find comfort in this posture and they find movement and expression of self. So do that for yourself also. Find the kinks. Maybe you find stillness, whatever is working for you today. Maybe you even imitate that butterfly we opened our practice with on your back here to get a little bit deeper hip opening. If you're done with hips, you can just find a little bit of stillness. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our legs down to the bottom of the mat. One breath in. And as you breathe out, lift that right knee up to your chest, pulling it in. Wind relieving pose does exactly what it says it's going to do. So if you do release in that way, don't be embarrassed. It happens to us all. It is partially the point of this posture. It's a wonderful release and elimination posture so that once again, energies that are not serving us can escape from our bodies, escape from our lives. Breath in. And this time as you breathe out, use your left hand to take that right knee and pull it across to the left side of your mat into a gentle twist, spinal twist. If it is accessible to you, you can take that right arm, open it up, and you can look either at the ceiling or look over that right shoulder. Getting a nice release in your glute, in your lower spine, and once again, bringing out that digestive system. Breath in. As you exhale, slowly unwind. Bring that leg down to meet the other. And before we switch sides, just take a moment and notice if there is a difference between your right and left side now. If not, that's also no worries, no judgment. Just notice how you feel and where you are. Because you can't notice what doesn't serve you if you don't notice how you feel right now. One more breath in. And as we exhale, we'll pull our left knee into our chest. Once again, wind relieving pose. ourselves down from this quick, gentle practice. Breath in. On your breath out, use your right hand to pull that left knee across to the right side of your body. Gentle spinal twist. Again, if it's accessible, open that left arm up and look either at the ceiling or over that left shoulder. Allowing your body to relax into this twist. Allowing your body to release. More breath in. As you exhale, slowly unwind into a Shavasana. Taking some time for yourself, and before we fully close out our practice, I'm going to guide you through a bit of a visualization to help us further realize our dreams, to further find our way through the muck of the eclipse. Imagine, if you will, there is a lotus flower at your heart center. You're outside in this beautiful moonlight. The moon shining on you before it is covered by the sun. As you inhale, the petals of this lotus flower open up and unfurl into the light of the moon. The light, love, and energy of the moon infuses every petal. It brings with it peace, focus, calm, love. As you breathe out, the lotus closes once again, and it brings this light and love into your heart space, the core of your being. You feel at peace. You are calm. You have your focus because you know that what you need is already within you. You are love. If it feels right to you, bring your hands back in prayer at your heart space and repeat the mantra, I am centered from within. I am lit from within. You can keep this visualization with you and let that inner light guide your way through the darkness of the eclipse, through the chaos of the eclipse, bringing you calm and peace, sorting out those intense emotions, sorting out all of the muck of our life. One more breath in. As you breathe out, slowly open those eyes if they were closed. Bring some subtle, gentle movement into those hands and feet, those arms and legs. Roll over to one side. Gently press yourself up to a seat. No need to rush the movement. Don't need to give yourself a head rush. We're releasing the chaos, not adding to it. I hope you found this practice calming and releasing. I hope you gained some self-reflection some centeredness. And I truly thank you for joining me on the mat as we celebrate this lunar eclipse, as we find focus and energy together, because in community we are so much stronger. Our love unites us. And from my heart to yours, namaste. As always, I will release another video next Friday. Stay tuned. And in the meantime, happy lunar eclipse, everybody.